Hey everyone, Morgan here, and so, see, it is right now about 10 minutes before midnight, still technically March 4th, yep, March 4th, and so I've had a couple days, let's see. So after I recorded the video on Monday night, I decided to, so I basically, stayed up for pretty much the rest of the night. Most of it was learning how to tie the fucking necktie, but I ironed my shirt and probably did a couple other things. Oh well. So Tuesday morning comes around. My alarm goes off at 7 o'clock, just like I said it. And then I shut it off because, hey, partly because, I just, was too tired to get up. I mean, I was literally going on 2 hours sleep there. And because I just, and because, hey, I knew I had one set for 7:30. The 7:30 alarm didn't go off. So 8:45 comes around, I spring awake, and then I pretty much, bolt, straight up, call the office to say that I'm probably gonna be a little late for the interview, and they said it was fine, as long as I was there before 10, but whatever. It was a 9:15 interview. I got out the door at 9:10, which is and weather was just terrible here. It was like, it was basically, it was kind of snowy, but it was pretty much slush on the road. And I say the road because, I only take one to get to that place. The place is literally on North Avenue. So I go interview there, and I thought the interview was going all right. Then then near the end of the interview, well, the first question was, did you drive all the way in here from Whitewater? Which should have tipped me off that something was up. So it could be one of several things. Either could have been my my old Twitter or my LinkedIn account, both of which still had Whitewater on the address. As the as my location. And the second thing that should tip me off that something wasn't complete, that they did a little bit of homework, was the fact that near the end of the interview, the guy wrote down Morgan on there as well, I had filled out a form, before, when I went in, and he wrote down Morgan on there, and yeah, so sorry. So it was probably the LinkedIn account that screwed me for that one. I went home and I got home and changed the Twitter account, and I finally changed the LinkedIn account today. So that interview was probably a bust. wasn't, you know, I started at 25,000 a year, and you know, it was this entry level account manager position for. Well, it was basically, you know, and this is a company that only has one client, all right, that's AT&T. And you know, so it was probably founded by a former mid-level, you know, manager there or something. You know, about their cable, their Uverse deal. So, and they were, you know, supposed to train me and all that fun stuff. So I get out of there around 11. You know, and he never brings up Morgan. All right, he never brings up the name Morgan. He just wrote it on the paper. So, what was I gonna say? Alright, so I get out of there at about 11, knowing that the interview probably went bust. And of course, then I get home and, you know, quickly change out of the business stuff and into, you know, change out of the, you know, the button-down shirt, and jacket and tie. You know, quickly, you know, take those off, put on just one of my old, you know, one of my dad's old sweaters, and poof, I was ready for the afternoon interview, which was at a Walmart out in, you know, out in the west suburbs. That one actually didn't turn out too badly. In fact, actually, it was just some cart pusher bullshit, courtesy associate. But, you know, I interviewed with one of their, you know, lower level, you know, floor managers, and then I interviewed with an assistant store manager just right after that. And then today, they wake me up, you know, at like fucking, you know, I don't even remember what time it was they woke me up, but I wasn't ready to wake up. I got to sleep at like, I didn't get to sleep until like noon today. Well, because, you know, after I got home from that Walmart interview, I just crashed and I stayed asleep until fucking midnight. So my sleep schedule's fucked. And there's no caffeine in this tea, so yeah. So yeah. So then they call me back. So they called me back this afternoon, saying that they want me to come in for a drug screen on Friday. I don't remember what time. I don't remember the guy who said that who they said to ask for, because I was really because I actually went back to sleep twice before I finally got up. Before I finally woke up for good and went to the Genderqueer Milwaukee meeting. So I'm gonna call them back tomorrow just to double check. But yeah. So I made some spaghetti, got some. Yeah, actually didn't ruin the fucking spaghetti this time. I made it on Monday night in one of my housemates' pans. It's some stainless steel pan. I'm never using that kind of pan again. Fuck that. Yeah, burnt. I fucking burnt. Oh, I couldn't find a lid until until after I had put the sauce in. I put the Prego in. So I was like, eh. So I pretty much I burned that shit. So tonight I decided, fuck it, I'm going to grab some of my stuff from the from the basement. I did. Grab my I grabbed my pan, Teflon coated, all that fun stuff, and couple other things. My turner, my fucking my strainer, my little Tupperware things. And then I had 2/3 of a pound of meat left that pretty much needed to get cooked tonight. Otherwise, it was probably already past its best. But whatever. So I cooked both. I cooked all the ground beef that was left. Took half of it, put it in one of the Tupperware things, and put the rest of it into my little meat sauce here. Good stuff. And I got some chamomile tea here with honey. And I think, Taylor's of Harrogate. I think that this might have come from. I think this still might be left over from the fucking atheist convention. Is that 3 years ago now? Goddamn. Yeah, I think this is still left over from the atheist convention 3 years ago when I stayed at the fucking. I think it was a Marriott. I don't remember, but. And again, the tea is probably past its best, but it's still alright. So, I'm going to finish eating. Now, I'm going to upload this. Finish eating while it's uploading, and hopefully. See, it's midnight. When do I have to be up? I don't think I have to be up until I have employment planning workshop at 2:45. Yes. 2:45. So I don't have to be out of here until fucking I don't really have to be awake until 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I might stream some League. I might actually do that. So anyways, I will hopefully see all of you either tomorrow or Friday or during a stream. Anyways, good night everyone.